the invisible error that kills attraction. There is a fatal mistake happening in the first few seconds of a greeting, a nearly invisible detail that most men overlook while hugging a woman. You might think a hug is just a polite gesture or a simple way to say hello, but to a woman's subconscious, it is a high-speed data transfer. Most men approach this moment with a total lack of intentionality, inadvertently signaling a massive deficit in masculine energy. They either hesitate, overthink the movement, or treat it like a casual formality, completely unaware that they are handing over a roadmap of their insecurities. Very few men actually understand how to use physical contact as a tool to communicate strength, presence, and groundedness. Because they haven't been taught the mechanics of touch, they end up projecting a vibe that is either nice guy platonic or socially awkward, effectively killing any romantic tension before a single word of conversation even starts. When you go in for that embrace without a clear sense of purpose, you are essentially telling her subconscious that you aren't comfortable in your own skin. This isn't about being macho or aggressive. It's about the subtle energy behind the contact. If your hug feels flimsy, rushed, or uncertain, her brain immediately registers you as someone who lacks the captain of the ship energy that women are biologically wired to find attractive. It's a silent, split-second evaluation where she determines if you are a man who can provide a sense of safety and stability, or if you're just another guy who is unsure of himself. This mistake is so subtle that she probably won't even be able to explain why her interest just dipped, but her body will know. It's the difference between her leaning into you or her subconsciously wanting to pull away and create distance. Today, we are going to fix this by breaking down the 3 most common error hugs that men perform and exactly what each one is communicating to her primitive emotional system. Most guys are stuck repeating these 3 patterns their entire lives, wondering why they keep getting stuck in the friend zone or why their dates feel lukewarm. We're going to peel back the curtain on why those hugs fail and how they sabotage your masculine presence. You need to understand that the subconscious mind doesn't care about your job title or your car during those few seconds of contact. It only cares about how you make her feel in your arms. If you get this wrong, all the game and clever lines in the world won't be enough to override the biological signal of weakness you just sent. But more importantly, I'm going to reveal the 4th type of hug, the one that separates the men who stick in her memory from the ones who are easily forgotten. This is the gold standard of physical interaction that almost no one talks about. It is a specific way of holding space that makes a woman feel an immediate, deep sense of connection and security. When you master this, you stop being just another face in the crowd and start being the man she thinks about long after the night is over. This technique is about more than just where you put your hands. It's about a specific dynamic of presence that most men will never discover. Stick with me, because once you understand this shift, you will never look at physical contact the same way again. The biological truth about attraction. I'm Lauren Pons, and I'm here to act as your bridge into the female mind, telling you exactly what women feel but almost never say out loud. If you've ever felt like there was a hidden language to attraction that you just couldn't decode, or if you've struggled to create that spark despite doing everything right, I want you to know it isn't your fault. The truth is, society has handed you a completely broken script. You were taught to focus on what you say, what you wear, and how much you earn, but they completely ignored the fundamental principles of physical contact and the raw biology of attraction. You've been trained to operate in a world of logic, but the world of attraction is governed by something much deeper and more primal. In female psychology, there is a core rule you must understand. Women feel first and think later. While you are standing there busy overanalyzing the situation, trying to think of the perfect thing to say, or weighing the pros and cons of when to make a move, her limbic system, the emotional center of her brain, has already finished its assessment. Before her conscious mind even forms a single thought about your personality or your career, her body has already decided how it feels about your presence. This happens on a purely biological level that bypasses logic entirely. You cannot convince or reason a woman into feeling attracted to you if her nervous system has already registered a lack of safety or strength in your touch. This entire evaluation happens in under 4 seconds of physical contact. A simple hug isn't just a greeting, it's a high-speed interrogation of your character. In those few seconds, her body is scanning for specific markers of masculine energy and answering a silent, vital question. Is this man grounded, or is he unsure of himself? She isn't looking for a tough guy act. She's looking for a man who is comfortable in his own skin and stable enough to lead the interaction. If you are hesitant, tense, or holding your breath, her subconscious marks you as unstable or uncertain. This isn't a choice she makes, it's a survival mechanism. Her body is looking for a rock, someone who has presence and isn't shaken by the moment. Understanding this science changes everything because it shifts the power back into your hands. You don't need to be the funniest, richest, or most successful man in the room to win. You just need to be the man who understands how to communicate through his presence. When you realize that her body is overriding her logic, you stop worrying about the words and start focusing on the energy you project. If your hug fails to communicate that you are a grounded man, her body will override everything else, your jokes, your kindness, and your interests. But when you get this right, you tap into a primitive emotional system that creates an instant, undeniable sense of attraction that she won't even be able to explain, but she will definitely feel. The 3 hugging mistakes that sabotage your vibe. The most common and arguably the most damaging blunder is the weak hug. You've likely seen this or even done it without realizing. It's that hesitant, limp interaction where your arms barely make contact and your body stays as far away as possible. It's often disguised as a courtesy side hug or a quick, nervous pat on the back. While you might think you're being polite or playing it safe by not being too forward, you are actually sending a loud, clear signal of total uncertainty. When the pressure is non-existent and you seem afraid to actually touch her, her subconscious immediately translates that physical distance as a lack of confidence. To a woman, this feels like you are unsure of your place in the world and, more importantly, unsure of your right to be in her space. She won't sit there and logically analyze why her attraction is fading, but she will walk away with a lingering feeling that you lack masculine presence. That vibe of weakness sticks to your reputation far longer than any conversation ever could. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have the aggressive hug, which is just as destructive to your chances. Some guys mistake being alpha or masculine for being overbearing, and they end up squeezing way too hard or holding on long past the point of comfort. This isn't masculine intensity. It's a total invasion of personal space that screams a lack of social awareness. When you trap someone in a grip that's too tight or let your hands wander to inappropriate places for the moment, you aren't showing strength. You're showing that you don't respect her boundaries. The second she feels like she's being handled or forced into a physical situation she didn't agree to, her attraction vanishes instantly. Instead of feeling safe and protected in your arms, her internal alarm bells start ringing. She doesn't feel a connection. She feels a desperate need to escape your grip and get away from you as fast as possible. Then there is the most underrated mistake of all, the ghost hug. This is a particularly cold interaction where you are physically present, but your mind is clearly somewhere else. You go through the motions of the hug, but your body is tense. You're looking over her shoulder to see who else is in the room, or you're holding your breath as if you're waiting for it to be over. Sometimes, you end the contact so abruptly that it feels like you touched a hot stove and got burned. This is physical contact without real presence, and it's a massive turnoff. It makes her feel like she is just a checkbox on your to-do list, or that she doesn't actually matter to you in that moment. It's a hollow, empty interaction that leaves her feeling more disconnected and lonely than if you hadn't touched her at all. If you aren't fully there when you hold her, she will feel that void, and she will associate your presence with a lack of genuine interest. Mastering the intentional masculine hug. To truly stand out from every other man she has ever met, you must master the art of the intentional masculine hug. This isn't just a casual movement. It is a profound statement of your character and confidence. A real masculine hug is firm, grounded, and entirely led by you. The secret starts from the ground up. You must plant your feet firmly on the floor with real stability. This might sound like a small detail, but in the language of the subconscious, physical stability is the direct signal for emotional stability. When you stand your ground and refuse to fidget or sway, you are communicating that you are a man who cannot be easily shaken. You are showing her that you are a rock she can lean on, providing a foundation of safety before you even wrap your arms around her. If you are physically grounded, she will instinctively feel that she can let go and trust your lead. The mechanics of the embrace itself require a balance of strength and sensitivity. As you go in, do so with total intentionality, no second guessing, and no hesitation. You want to place one hand high between her shoulder blades and the other firmly in the middle of her back. This dual placement creates a frame that feels secure and deliberate. Maintain full chest-to-chest contact, ensuring there is a constant, intentional pressure throughout the interaction. You aren't trying to crush her or show off your physical strength, but you are refusing to let there be any dead space between you. This closeness creates a bridge of energy where she can actually feel your heartbeat and your presence. It is a bold move that says you are comfortable with intimacy and that you have the confidence to claim your space while inviting her into it. The most crucial element of this entire process, which almost every man forgets, is your breath. You must remember to breathe deeply and slowly during the hug. When you hold your breath, your muscles tighten, and that tension is immediately transferred to her. It signals anxiety and makes the moment feel rushed or awkward. However, when you breathe, you force your own nervous system to relax. Because humans are biologically wired to co-regulate, your relaxation becomes contagious. As she feels your chest expand and contract in a steady, calm rhythm, her own body will begin to mirror that calmness. You are literally using your biology to soothe her nervous system. This creates a powerful, addictive feeling of peace and security that she will instantly associate with being in your arms. Finally, you must be the one to own the duration and the energy of the moment. You don't wait for her to pull away. You lead the embrace from start to finish. By maintaining that steady pressure and relaxed breathing, you create a pocket of time where the rest of the world disappears. It isn't about how long the hug lasts, but about the quality of the presence you provide during those few seconds. When you are the one who is grounded and intentional, the hug becomes more than just a greeting. It becomes an experience. You are showing her, through action rather than words, that you know exactly who you are and exactly what you are doing. That level of certainty is the ultimate masculine magnet, and it is what will make her feel an immediate, deep-seated attraction that lingers long after you stepped away. The art of the perfect exit. The way you end a hug is just as critical as the way you start it, because the final moments of physical contact are what solidify the entire experience in her memory. Timing truly is everything here. You want to aim for a window of 2 to 4 seconds. This is the golden zone of attraction. It's significantly longer than that quick, nervous friend zone tap that screams platonic energy. But it's just short enough to avoid turning into an uncomfortable eternity where the tension becomes awkward. By holding the embrace for those extra couple of seconds, you are demonstrating that you are comfortable with intimacy and aren't rushing to escape her presence. You are claiming the moment, showing her that you have the patience and the presence to actually enjoy the connection rather than just trying to get through it as fast as possible. Crucially, you must be the one to end the hug. This is a subtle but powerful display of leadership and high value. When you are the one to initiate the release, it signals that you are in control of your own emotions and that you aren't needy or desperate for her affection. To do this correctly, you release her calmly and smoothly. Don't just drop your arms and jump back. Instead, let your hands slide slightly down her arms as you create space. This lingering, soft touch as you step away maintains the connection for a split second longer and makes the transition feel natural and fluid rather than robotic. It shows a level of social polish and masculine grace that most men simply don't possess, leaving her with a physical afterglow of your presence. Once there is physical space between you again, do not look away or break the tension immediately. This is where most men fail. They get nervous and look at the floor or check their surroundings. Instead, maintain steady, warm eye contact and offer a relaxed, genuine smile. This small window of post-hug eye contact is where the emotional impact really lands. It communicates that you are fully present with her and that you enjoyed the moment without being overwhelmed by it. By holding that gaze for just a heartbeat longer than usual, you are essentially sealing the interaction and showing her that you are a man who is completely at ease in his own skin. Ultimately, you need to realize that every single hug is a micro-expression of your character. It serves as a physical preview of the man you are, how you lead, how you handle intimacy, and how much stability you provide. If you can master this exit, you are providing her with a sense of security and attraction that she rarely experiences. You aren't just saying hello or goodbye. You are leaving a lasting impression of strength and groundedness. Starting today, you have a massive advantage over other men because you understand that the smallest details in these transitions are what build the biggest attraction. Use this knowledge to be intentional, be present, and watch how her energy shifts the moment you let go.